What's up everybody? Today I'm going to be reviewing The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath. So the first thing that I will say is I went into this book knowing that a lot of people think that it is a 5-star read. A lot of people put this book as a classic, say that it's a book that everybody needs to read at some point in their life, and so I went into this book with high expectations, and I feel like sometimes that can be a negative thing because it can influence how you see the book. This book takes you back to the 1950s and shows how things such as mental health, specifically depression, were treated back in the 1950s, how gender roles and women who did not want to fill certain gender roles of society were treated, how virginity and sexuality were treated back in the 1950s, and the topics of that nature. And so I, as somebody who studied psychology in college, was very much interested in this book because I wanted to see how mental health was treated back in the 1950s. I know it's fits in the story, but I wanted to see how mental health was treated to compare it to now, and just to see somebody's journey with depression, even if it is somebody who is a fictional character. Obviously, there are a lot of differences between how depression was treated back then compared to now. Although we still do have electric shock therapy as a last resort treatment, it is not used as quickly as it was used in her case, where she saw a psychiatrist, and because medications didn't work, then they automatically went to electric shock therapy. Nowadays we have therapy, and we have lots of different types of therapy. So for example, she was getting electric shock therapy 3 times a week. We're here, we would first recommend that somebody do therapy 3 times a week if they are suffering from major depressive disorder, and see if that helps first before we go to other extreme measures. As somebody who has suffered from major depressive disorder since I was around 15, at least that's when I was diagnosed, I probably had it before then, but I do think that the book did a good job at representing what it's like to live with it. I have read books, if I'm being completely honest, I think do a better job at describing what it's like to live with major depressive disorder. They're closer to my experience, but there still are some things I could relate to, so I do think that it's a pretty accurate representation of that, although I have read books that are more accurate. Do I think it's a 5-star read like everybody on TikTok? No, I would give it more, maybe 3.5 stars, maybe 4 stars. It was a good book. I definitely do recommend it. I definitely do think that it's important to read. I did feel a bit bored while reading it. If I'm going off of just completely emotions, I did keep kind of wanting to finish it and read something else. It's something that I can acknowledge the author did a beautiful job writing, and that it's an important thing to read. But was I bored while reading it? Yes, I do think the first half of the book specifically went way too slow. But since a lot of people have read this book, please comment down below what your thoughts are. I do plan on making more book review videos soon. There's 2 books that I'm hoping to finish up soon that I want to do a review on. I do plan on making more videos about tips about how to read with ADHD. I made a video about that not too long ago if you want to check it out. I do plan on making more videos on how to get out of reading slumps and just book related content. So if you're into that stuff, please give me a follow. Please like this video and have a great day.